Okay, so in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss the navigation editor of the classroom. So in the last video, if you watched it, editing your classroom homepage, you saw me add in this navigation here using this menus here. So that's kind of what I'm going to go more in depth about. So let me go ahead and click into that. And I call this navigation editor because that's just what it's called. You see up top it says class navigation editor. So this is essentially the navigation editor. It changes around the navigation that we see on the side here. And when I changed the theme in the last video, you saw that all we had was this side here. So let me go ahead and go over what is going on in this little navigation editor. So we see the my class, and I can uncollapse this. And this my class pertains to this my class navigation here. Okay, so by default, you'll have a class home. And if I look at this just by clicking edit, you see it's going to this /district /class /1669 my class. Just breaking this down, this just says it's accessing the classroom my class with ID 1669. It's saying this is a classroom on the district. That's basically how links in Cyberschool work. So essentially, what's going on is your class home will always direct you back to this standard class home. At least that's what it's supposed to do. If you change that, it might mess up what's going on there. But before I go into what we can do with this, you'll see right off the bat here. You saw me drag over all these modules, and I kind of explained what all these modules do here, but I didn't really go over these quick helpers. So I'll go over these quick helpers first before I discuss, what we can actually do with these and how we can make them look pretty neat and, organize it a bit better. So let me go ahead and I'll take a link to a file or URL. It's the simplest one to work with. And I'm just going to drag this, and depending on where I place it is where it'll actually be in the navigation. In the last video you saw me drag it right on or drop it right on top of this my class here, and it just drops it to the bottom there. So that's one thing I can do. I can also just drop it right here where you see that faint blue dash line there. I can drag it right on top of, say, this class home to make it a sub element. I'm just going to drop it right here. And with this link to file URL, I can link to just about anything. If I want to link to Google, I just got to take the Google URL there. So let me actually go to Google and let me actually copy that and just paste that there. Okay, so that's the URL to Google. And I can also change the target if I want this opening up in the same window or in a new tab or new window. Okay, so link to file URL. What we can also do is link up to a file using this upload and then browse. So I can browse for any file to link this to, or select existing will open up my file system where I can link up to any file that I've already uploaded as well. So let's just say this ADA slideshow PowerPoint, and I can call this ADA slideshow PowerPoint. So any file is absolutely acceptable. We also have link to existing, and I'll drag that over. And whenever I use a link to existing, I'm linking to any page, any department, or any classroom on Cyberschool, basically on your Cyberschool site. So it's just like a quick way to link up to something without having to remember the exact URL. Let's just say that training videos, and that's just the training videos and the top navigation right there. Okay, we also have create new portal. So let me drag this over and create new portal. Uh, Before I discuss what that is, let me call this something, just example portal. Let's see if that works for me. Okay, so portals are absolutely one of a kind. I can't create another portal called example portal. If I try, it's going to give me an error. Example portal. See, the URL title specified is already used. Please specify a different title. So I can't have more than one type of, or more than one portal with the same name. And portals are what we're seeing on this home page here with this turquoise section and the widgets. Now pages, when I drag over a new page, I get this editor that pops up. And let me call this example page. And uh, call pages the same name and everything. It doesn't matter what you call a page, really. Then click Publish Now to save this and save it all together. All right. So here's that link to Google. Takes me to Google. ADA Slideshow PowerPoint. My browser settings just download this PowerPoint automatically. Yours might actually open this up in a new tab or something. Okay, there's that example portal, an example page. So pages are just this plain text, edit and delete. I can throw in some content here. Let's just say this is a header, and then this is a paragraph. There's H1 and P for header 1 and paragraph. And it just shows that content. And again, I have a video that goes over this text editor more in depth, but it's just links, images, accordions, iframes, tables, anything that we can add with this editor, we can add into this page here. Now portals, we've seen this before with these widgets that we can add. In the last video, I went over all what these widgets do. So portals are really useful because pages themselves can only hold about 64,000 characters. And portals, what I can do with portals is I can link a text box, say browse, and let's link this up with that example page that I just created. Okay, so all this content in the example page is actually what's going on right here. So what's going on here is this is essentially proving that every text box that you create is a page itself. That's why we have the same functionality. Everything we can do with a text box, we can also do with a page. For example, password protecting this content, say ASDF123. Let's save that. Okay, and that should be set to yes. Okay, so I'm probably seeing that because I'm the one who set the password, which is fine. It works a bit different with text boxes. Okay, so now you'll see if I go ahead and let me set that back to everyone. And if I were to say add another paragraph, this is another paragraph, and I'll save that. Now if I refresh this page, there's that this is another paragraph. So these two, this page and this text box, are directly linked together. Anything I add or remove from this text box will be added or removed to this page as well. So that's the main difference between pages and portals, is that I can add in as many text boxes as I like, and since each text box is a page, each text box can only hold about 64,000 characters. And since portals can hold any number of text boxes, they can hold, hypothetically, an infinite amount of characters. So that's essentially what's going on with this navigation editor here. Now another thing that we can do, or some more things that we can do with this navigation editor, is I can select, say, this page here, and I can just delete that. Let's actually delete the slideshow PowerPoint there. I can also edit this. So just open up the editor for this page here, or edit this portal. I could just change the title of it. Editing this link to existing allows me to edit the actual page because it's linked up to a page there. And then this link to file or URL allows me to change the title or the URL for this. Now you might be wondering, how are you going to know the difference between each one? Well, typically a link to a portal, or this portal one here, will have a gear symbol. Pages and link to file URL will have the same little link or chain link option there, but obviously the modules will have like gear symbols or a calendar or a little notepad with a pencil or a newspaper. And so sometimes you kind of just have to know, or sometimes you kind of just have to guess what they are. Um, what we can also do is rename options. Now you can't rename a link to file URL there because it's just right there. You can just edit and change the link title. but I can rename this training videos link to just videos. I can also I also have the option to make something staff intranet. So you'll see when I make it staff intranet, let me zoom out or zoom in, and you'll see it gets kind of like a boldface to it. And staff intranet just means staff only, essentially. If you want to make an element staff only, basically people who are logged in will be able to see that content. So it's a good way for teachers to just say, teachers only kind of thing. And last option is hide. So when I click hide, you see the check mark disappears, which just means that this link will exist in the navigation. It'll just be hidden. So let me show you. So I unchecked videos, save, and now videos is not in the navigation at all. It's still there though. I can still access that. So that's pretty handy if you're working on a page and you're not quite ready for it to uh, and in layman's terms take it live. If it's not quite ready to be shown to the public just yet, you can uncheck it so that nobody can really access it from the navigation editor. And it's really like, unless they have the actual URL to place into the URL, they can't access it. Okay, so that's about everything with the navigation editor. Next, we're going to be talking about groups and users, which is actually pretty simple, but I'll see you in the next video.